that said, I want everybody to know that there's a public meeting next Tuesday, the October 16th, at 7:30 in the Senior Rec Community Center for a public presentation on the Bring Your Own Bag ordinance, which is what the plastic bag reduction ordinance is called, so that the public can actually hear all the moving parts, how it's planned to work, what it sets out to accomplish, what it doesn't do, who would be affected. And I think it's important for the public to actually get that information in a dedicated situation where the whole meeting is about that. And you'll hear from Sustainable Highland Park, from members of council, members of the administration, members of the public, and merchants. There'll be a second public presentation as well, which hasn't been scheduled yet. We're looking at the schedule for possibly early November, so that there are at least 2 public airings on that. But the first one, just so everybody knows, is going to be this coming Tuesday at 7:30.
The long-awaited report on deer management. We have been talking to the DEP and the Fish and Wildlife folks. We've had a meeting with them earlier this year in the spring. They came in and we had a wonderful conversation, but they asked for more time to do some more research and to bring some more partners in. So we're going to be having the conversation, I think, maybe early next year. So I just want to keep you posted. However, in the interim, should you have any kind of deer incident, please go on the website and report it, because we're trying to collect as much data as possible.
Let me just add to that. So part of the reason that it's taking us so long to get the Fish and Wildlife folks here is they do want to be able to map out where there is some evidence of deer. So I think the borough administrator and our public information officer are working on a way where you'll be able to report not only incidents with deer, but just the fact that you're seeing them and where they are, so that they can map out the presence of the deer here. And then they'll be able to come and make a presentation on everything, everything that we can do. We'll answer that question.
Well, the mayor indicated we have not purchased buckwoods, and there's no intention to do so. Right now, no more trees are coming down until a concept plan is submitted by the owner of the property to detail what they would like to do with the property. We should get that concept plan probably in another several weeks, and then we'll go back to court. But right now, the tree removal, thanks to the residents that live nearby, has been stopped.
Okay, good. Now, while there is no resolution or ordinance on our agenda this evening related to the possible sale of marijuana, and the council has not discussed this issue, I would like to share with you now my position on the matter. First, let me say that I support the bill that State Senator Ron Rice has sponsored that would remove criminal penalties for possession of small amounts of marijuana, but would not create a system that will legalize marijuana in New Jersey. That I am concerned about the likely legalization of recreational marijuana in New Jersey and the possibility of marijuana being sold in Highland Park. I know that there are those who believe that if recreational marijuana is legalized, then we should take advantage of being able to tax it at the local level. I disagree. I don't believe that we should be focusing on the potential revenue that a local marijuana tax would bring, besides the fact that I am not convinced that the potential revenue will solve our tax stabilization issue. I believe that we should be guided by science and our concern for the safety and health of our children. So for these reasons, as my colleagues and I begin to discuss this issue, I will be advocating for the council to adopt an ordinance to prevent businesses in Highland Park from selling marijuana, both medical and recreational, and marijuana paraphernalia. I support doctor-recommended medical marijuana. I understand that medical marijuana, which is already legal to some degree in New Jersey, may be helpful to some of our residents. However, I believe that it is unnecessary to have medical marijuana sold in Highland Park, especially considering that 2 of the 6 medical marijuana dispensaries already existing in New Jersey are not so far from here.
You can get OxyContin from Rite Aid right here, and that's way more dangerous. Why in the world should we discriminate against patients that could benefit from medical cannabis, especially when it can replace some of those more dangerous treatment options. So saying, well, they can just go 10 miles up the road, I don't think that's an acceptable argument against it. What is easier to get illegally for teenagers? Is it cannabis right now or alcohol? What is easier to get illegally for teenagers? Is it cannabis right now or alcohol? Seriously, cannabis or alcohol? It's cannabis. Far and away. It's way easier to get cannabis because there's not a regulated legal market for it. Alcohol is way harder for the underage to get because there is a regulated legal market for it. So if we're worried about youth use, legalization for recreational cannabis is safer than prohibition.
I just wanted to state that as a resident and a taxpayer and a parent of 3, 7, and 9-year-old, that I do support legalized marijuana in New Jersey as well as in Highland Park. I supported it when I went to the voting booth back in November when Governor Murphy, who ran on legalizing marijuana, won in a landslide. I support legislation sponsored by Assemblyman Jamal Hawley in the Assembly, as well as Senator Nick Scutari in the Senate that legalizes recreational marijuana. I just wanted to point out that we can always look at substance in the form of abuse, and I think prevention is incredibly important, and that we need to look at every way that we can to make sure that Highland Parkers, especially our youth, are protected and are safe and are educated about abusing any kind of substance. But I would note that the legislation outlines that marijuana legalization is available to those over the age of 21. So we're not really talking about youth here, and that there is a strong enforcement component in that and in any town. And I'm just wondering, as I'm sitting here, well, first as I read Councilman Fine's op-ed, where in the process are we on this? Has this been vetted by the Public Safety Committee? Has this been vetted by the Health and Human Services Committee? Has this been vetted by the Board of Health? Has this been vetted by the Human Relations Committee, if we're looking at the criminal justice component, or the Public Safety Committee? Because if we haven't, then I'm wondering why we're even talking about it up here right now.
I said, the council has not discussed this yet. It's something we're beginning to discuss, and quite frankly, we know the process. You know the process, you've been on council. But I also know, and I think you know this as well, that while we are a team and we work together, right, and we want to come to consensus, at the same time, we are each individually elected, and we have a responsibility, each one of us, to speak to what we believe. And I think it's okay, totally okay, for anyone who sits up here to express their opinion on any matter. And it doesn't have to go through 3 different committees, and we don't have to come out and show it or pretend as though everything we're in agreement on everything. I think it's okay from the beginning to take a stand, even if we disagree with each other, and have that stand. So thank you.
So that's a discussion we can have amongst ourselves later on.